In 2023, we have 4 new coaches, and with 3 of them coming back to AFL coaching for the second time, I thought it would be a good idea to go over what to expect from these coaches in terms of game plan, who they need to develop, and how they'll go in season 2023. So I hope you enjoy.
Wrong side for him, hooks a ball! What a ball! Sensational!
So let's start with the Bombers, who of course Brad Scott is stepping in place of Ben Rutten, and the media and fans have always complained a little bit in the last few years about the Bombers, about them being soft. Now the good news when it comes to Brad Scott is he took pretty average North Melbourne teams to preliminary finals in 2014 and 15, and how he was able to do that was to instill a blue collar like work ethic in terms of the entire squad. Everyone that played for North in that time were busy getting their head in and under the footy, and it's something that Essendon have not really been known for in the last couple of seasons, and it's something that they're going to need to fix, whether it is a Zach Merritt, who's been around for a while, Darcy Parish, who does need to take his game to another level, Dylan Shield, even though he's getting a touch older, but he's nowhere near out of what we would normally call a prime, a young guy like Jai Caldwell, Ben Hobbs, these guys, every single Bombers midfielder first, and it'll spread out to the other parts of the ground, are going to need to make their opponent, win or lose, walk off saying their midfield gave it a crack. They can no longer give up easy ball between the arcs, and Brad Scott is the guy, I believe, to do that. Again, just go look at those teams from 14 and 15. Just please do it, because it's extraordinary. And that's not me being disrespectful to those players. Brad Scott did a fantastic job. Regardless of what you think of the 50% win rate, look at the list that he had to deal with, and no coach has come close to it since at North. So take that in your stride. The Dons also are going to need to do some work in both arcs as well. With Peter Wright, yes, he had a fantastic season and he won the best and fairest. Still really isn't your 60-plus goal a year goal kicker, and that's something that the Bombers are desperately going to need. But they did improve the small forward stocks with, of course, the Davey brothers coming in this season. Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody coming back. That helps as well. I believe Jake Stringer does not need to attend centre bounces at all this year. He needs to be a centre forward threat, helping the Davey boys develop into what they need to be. I believe Orwin can play round one. I really do. Bombers fans, if you know why he wouldn't, please let me know in the comments, but I truly do believe that Orwin can play round one. But down back is also a problem for the Dons. Take Zach Reid out of the equation, they don't really have any key backs that you can say, yep, they're definitely going to be there in the next 5 years. They've got some failed forwards down there. You've got the likes of Jaden Laverde, James Stewart, these guys. Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, he is still young, developing a bit, but, I haven't really seen anything that makes me go, yep, he is your guy. Love the fact that they drafted Lewis Hayes. Talked about that in my draft video, so I'm looking forward to that. But Brad Scott, what he can do for the now is just make Essendon tougher to play. More contested ball, more hungry, better fitness for a start, and we are seeing some of that in this off-season. But Essendon need to become tougher to play against, use that electric speed to burn teams, especially at Marvel Stadium, which they've been able to do on and off for the last couple of seasons. But it is all about that consistency in effort, consistent in drive, consistent in speed, and development of the youngsters. I cannot wait and see what happens to Essendon's group of 21 and younger in 2023. So whilst I'm not sure if Brad Scott can take a really, really good team to a premiership, kind of like Brad Stevens in the NBA with the Celtics, the better the Celtics team got, the more he struggled as a coach. I do fear that's kind of where Brad Scott is, but to get Essendon to a threatening place, I genuinely don't think there was a better man on the market to get the job done. Of course, barring Clarko, but we know what happened there. Speaking of Clarko, let's do North next. And North, they got to keep it simple, stupid this year. It's simply, hey Clarko, figure out what you've got. This is Hawthorn 2005 all over again. I don't care how good you think you are. At no point are you guaranteed A game, or B, a future when Alistair Clarkson comes into your footy club. Clarko got rid of the likes of Mark Graham, these kind of guys, when he stepped into the Hawthorn job. And if you think he won't do the same at North after 22 games, you're out of your mind. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing plenty of youngsters. Will Will Phillips take a step forward this year after a pretty bad injury-riddled season in 2022? Are we going to see the likes of Josh Goder come through and play consistent games? Are we going to see more of Jackson Archer? Is Paul Curtis going to take another step forward? But what about the guys that have already been there? Yes, Jai Simpkin has won the last 2 best and fairest, but he still needs to go to another level. How does Luke Davies-Uniacke go? Nick Larkey, is he going to take another step forward and be one of the top 3-5 key forwards in the competition? Are they going to be able to re-sign Ben McKay? There are still plenty of intriguing questions around the Roos, and the last one is the most intriguing for me. Taran Thomas. How is he going to go under Clarko? Personally, I hope he thrives. Pre-season and even during the season, I'm not going to sit here and say, I hope someone fails. XYZ fails. For 2 reasons. 1, that's a dickish way to be in any kind of sporting life. And 2, Taran Thomas's worst game in under 12s is 10,000 times better than I could produce now. So there's literally no point in me going, I hope you fail. That's just stupid. I hope he thrives, and I hope North do improve. I really do. But what I hope more than anything else is that first game against the Hawks is built up to be something special. But for North, it is a simple fact-finding mission in 2023. Who's got it and who doesn't? And North fans, I hope you can't wait to find out either, because 4 flags, nothing to sneeze at. The Giants, the only team with a new coach in 2023 that hasn't had an AFL coaching gig before in Adam Kingsley. Now, if you followed my channel for longer than, say, 6 months, then you know I am a massive Adam Kingsley fan. Every time a job was vacant in the last couple of seasons, I've been telling, whether it's YouTube, my mates, shout out to Paul Smid, who has been a very, very good friend of the channel, will continue to be. He's actually jumping on with me very, very shortly, which I'm looking forward to in a separate video. But I reckon he's heard me chew his poor ear off for about 4 years now that Adam Kingsley deserves a job. So I'm so looking forward to what he does here. He is going to have some tools at his disposal. You got the likes of Sam Taylor down back, genuine star. Harry Himmelberg, I think, needs to play as the second key defender while they develop Leek Alir and these guys, and Isaac Cumming can become their version of a James Sicily down back, the quarterback, if you will, the sweeper down there. In the midfield, Kelly and Canelio are still there, which is good because the likes of Tom Green, Finn Callahan, and these guys that are coming through are going to need those veteran presences. Now, I know that Adam Kingsley is going to need to develop the kids, but Josh Kelly cannot play on a wing and he can't play at half forward. He's got to be in the guards. Whether it is Kelly, Canelio, and Tom Green that are starting the majority of centre bounces, that is okay. Jake Riccardi needs a big year up forward. Aaron Cadman is going to be unleashed. They've got these forwards that they've drafted as well. There are going to be plenty of spots on the ground where the Giants are going to develop. Just can't be in the midfield. Not yet. They still really haven't figured out who their ruck is. Matt Flynn, you've got Braden Pruce, you've got Kieran Briggs, I think. Is that his name? Sorry, Kieran, if I've got that wrong. Kind of like Clarko, Adam Kingsley needs to figure out what youngsters he can take with him into the future. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. And of course, looking forward to Aaron Cadman, who's going under the radar in terms of number 1 picks in recent years. In terms of game plan, I think the Giants are going to want to play quickly because with the amount of youth in their side, if they're forced to play slow or a really contested style around the ground, they're going to struggle big time. So I think the Giants are going to get quicker, and then hopefully as the year progresses, they're going to get stronger in the contest. But I don't see this being a rapid rise up the ladder for the Giants at all. And Toby Green has got a genuine chance here, if he's not an idiot, to really, really take this by the scruff of the neck. And I honestly think he needs to have a best and fairest style season. And let's finish with the Saints, perhaps the most intriguing on this list, and could finish in a range on the ladder of about 10 spots, if I'm being honest with you. And for me, that range is 6th to 15th, and anywhere in between. Max King going down, of course, with his injury is disastrous in terms of what the Saints can produce forward of centre, but their midfield is still really good with Jack Steele. Jack Steele's still really good, but it's the youngsters. Can Marcus Windhager, Machado Owens, these guys take another step? Nazai Wanganeen-Milera, he's just about going to get the wing at Marvel Stadium named after him because he's just going to be there the entire time, which is going to be fantastic. For Saints fans, how's their defense going to go? They've got enough top-end talent, maybe just, to get them through some games. And I feel like the Saints in the back half of the year are going to be a team that no one really wants to play against. But we know Ross Lyon is going to tighten them up defensively first and then worry about scoring. With Max King going down, that is only going to become more and more true. Where does Jack Sinclair play this year? I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to finding out. But again, I think Ross is going to want in between the arcs the Saints to take the game on. They do have speed. I've got plenty of problems with St Kilda. St Kilda fans have got plenty of problems with St Kilda. The one thing that they've got between the arcs is the ability to get and go if they are allowed to. Guys like Jack Higgins, Dan Butler, the guys forward of centre, they're smalls, cannot afford to get sucked too far up the ground. They're going to need a tall forward, whether that's the second ruck, now that Max King has gone down, whether it's Tim Membry, whoever it is. They need a tall in their forward 30 at all times and then let the smalls go to work. Scoreboard pressure on both ends, offensively and defensively, is going to keep St Kilda in games. And again, like all the coaches here, it's a common theme. Ross is going to need to figure out quickly who he's got and who he doesn't, because there are some contracts at St Kilda and some players that are just yuck. So we'll see how he goes. And of course, last but not least, can he unlock Brad Hill's best form? Because he did it at Freo after a very, very good performance at Hawthorn, but he has meandered a bit and we know what's going on with his money. So can Brad Hill be the Brad Hill we've seen in the past is probably the biggest question this year. But the St Kilda as a whole, I think out of these four clubs are going to be scrutinised the most, rightly or wrongly. And it's just kind of the way it is. Love it or hate it. I'm not a massive fan of it. I don't see the Saints as all that relevant this year, but the media is the media, aren't they? So that's it, guys. Short, sharp, and succinct for the Daz Talks Footy YouTube channel. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And why haven't you? It's the best footy family on YouTube. Go ahead. Go do that. Hope you're enjoying 2023 so far. Hope your New Year's resolution is still coming true. Daz is trying to get healthier in 2023. So getting some habits in is going beautifully at the moment. I've got things like golf, eating better. Looking forward to seeing what 2023 can bring. Hope you can stick around. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. And until next time, goodbye.